Does a mortgage survive a tax deed sale in Florida? Buckle up. In the Sunshine State, there are 3 or 4 different ways that tax liens, yes, and tax deeds are sold because it is a dual state. And if you're not careful, the mortgage could be your worst enemy. Imagine owning a tax deed in Florida and then realizing afterwards that the mortgage is coming with it. I'm going to show you how to avoid that each and every single time. Okay, there are ways, and what the beautiful thing about it, there are dozens and dozens of counties in Florida. If done right, you'll end up with the property every single time without ever worrying about the mortgage again. So in this video, we're going to cover the ups and the downs and the do's and the don'ts in Florida. And it's not just staying out of the shark-infested water, it's staying out of the shark-infested titles and deeds and all the different sales that go on there. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. Florida is a tax lien and a tax deed state. It's what I like to refer to as a dual state. So in the state of Florida, they have a tax lien sale once a year. You have to be 1 year delinquent on your property taxes, and that sale will happen. It has to start in every single county. I do believe there's 167 counties in Florida by the last business day of May. In other words, it has to have started by that time. Okay, so there are all these sales going on. They're paying 18%. Okay, at 18%, you can buy the lien at the sale. Great. Now you have this tax lien certificate. You go about your business. You don't have to file any paperwork. You don't have to do anything. If a sale happens and nobody buys a tax lien certificate, and then it's going to go into inventory and somebody can buy the tax lien through assignment purchasing, and we talk about that in other videos. Now, the dualness of Florida is at the end of the redemption period, if nobody's redeemed on that particular tax lien that I own, I don't foreclose on the property. It goes back to the county. So I go to the county and say, hey, I'm the lien holder of record. I would like to, and the redemption period is over, and I would like to go ahead and exercise my right to foreclose on the property. So the county is the one that's required to do that. You're not doing it at all. You're still not owning the property, even though you're going through the foreclosure process. Now that the county has the property in the foreclosure, they have to notify everybody that's got a financial interest in this property, just like any other foreclosure in the country. Here's the rub. The county's doing it, okay? If they make a mistake and they don't notify somebody that has a rightful position on that property, that position is still valid. Okay, so let's talk about what makes a first position, a second position, and a third position. I buy a house and I get a mortgage on that. They spend a lot of money making sure they're first in line. Okay, I'm the first mortgage. I decide to take a second out to remodel. That becomes the second. It's the date of recording. Okay, you ask? If they're in first position, then how can a tax lien certificate jump ahead of that? Because the property taxes have always been on that property. You just don't see the lien until the property owner doesn't pay it anymore. This is what I like to call a phantom lien. The county's ensuring that they will automatically, by state statute, jump in front of everybody, including a mortgage that was filed before theirs, okay? This will go ahead, and the statute says any and all liens and encumbrances regardless of when that lien was filed. That's paraphrasing, but that's how the terminology goes. The county goes in to foreclose on the property that you have a lien on. You're still not in the clear. Once they foreclose on it and nobody's going for it, the final act of foreclosure is to bring that property to a tax deed sale. In all respective purposes, you are the first position on that. You're the first bidder, if you will. So let's say there's $5,000 in back taxes on this particular property. The county is going to offer that up, and any expenses that they've got on that, that will be the opening bid. If nobody comes in and buys that back taxes, basically paying you plus your 18%, then you get the property. If you want the property, you are going to have to go to the sale. Now, this is what makes Florida kind of good in some ways, is they have these sales every single month all over the state of Florida for these tax deeds. The challenge with that is it gives everybody a false sense of, oh, this must be where everybody needs to go. It's not true. Okay, because of the method on there, there also sometimes can be an ample amount of competition within that particular area. Please know what you're doing. Most of the sales in the state of Florida on all the counties is done by online. Okay, so you're going to be an online tax deed sale coming up, and those don't need to be on the first Tuesday or the full moon or anything else like that. They're just going to be when the county sees it fit to make that happen. So you need to keep your eyes open for that. But again, back to the trap that sets up. Is it, oh, I can buy tax liens and tax deeds. I just need to go here. Nowhere in any of my materials that I've ever published in the last 30 years of teaching people how to buy tax liens and tax deeds do I say, go in your backyard. This is the only place you need to go. This is one of the challenges I have with my Florida students. I'm like, you've got a plethora of other markets just right in your backyard that offer more opportunity. This doesn't mean that Florida is not a great place to go there. Understand the dips and the ups from there. Okay, you got tax lien certificates. They're paying 18%, but somebody can bid it down. They got tax deeds on a monthly basis in there, but sometimes that can generate a lot of competition on it. So know what you're doing. Once it goes to sale, all bets are off with the lien. Okay, so when it goes to sale, now you got to start your research completely different. Because now I want to make sure the value on the property is there. I've got comparable sales. Where's my exit strategy? And what's my financial outcome? What's my destiny? What am I trying to do with this property? Where is my maximum bid on this property? So important. Do not show up at a sale and just wing it. Okay? If I get this property, what kind of rehab am I going to have to do? Now remember, you're not looking at the property and doing a home inspection on the property. You got to go with sight unseen. You look at the property and go, I hope that everything's okay. I hope I've got some financial structure or foundational structure and all that good stuff. It's not a big deal, but these are the things you got to watch for. So that when I go in there, and we'll use the example of a $250,000 property, where would my maximum bid be in there? And I had somebody one time say to me, oh, it's $250,000. I'd bid a maximum of $50. Don't get on a plane. Okay, if you're only willing to get a fraction of the fair market value, you're wasting your time. You have to at least show up to compete. That doesn't mean you're going to get it at your maximum bid, but be willing to play. So if it's a $250,000 property, there's no formula out there. What drives me nuts sometimes is, oh, there's a formula for some rental. We're not using formulas here. Because a $250,000 property, I might be willing to go to 150, maybe even 175, depending on the value of the property. I'm still way below market value. Whereas I've gotten $120,000 properties. They're nice properties, not great area, but they're good properties for 20 or 30. I'm not going to go up to $70,000 on that type of a property. So there isn't a rule of thumb of what is your percentage. Probably one of the biggest questions I get from beginning investors when first going to an auction is, what's the formula? There's not. Every single individual property earns and respects the fact that you've got to come up with your own dollar amount. If I'm driving by a $250,000 ARV after rehab value, okay, and it's got broken windows on it, I am not going to jump that up to $175,000. I might go $75,000 to $100,000. Again, don't take that out of, oh, he's got a formula. No, I don't. Okay, I'm telling you, you've got to look at the property. One of the things I love about this business is every single deal is a little different. And one of the beautiful things about Florida is you can do both. I can buy tax lien certificates. I can earn 18%. I can do assignment purchasing. And I can buy deeds, and they're having sales on a regular basis all the time. Besides that, you're in business now, and I've done videos on tax breaks. What is in Florida? Beaches, good weather, cruise ships, and Orlando with Disneyland and everything else that go, or Disney World and everything else that goes with that. So you can go there, look at some real estate, do some business, and maybe sneak over to the park for a little R&R. So this is Florida. Take advantage of it. It's a great state besides just the beautiful oranges and beaches. Florida is more than just sunshine and oranges. Take advantage of all of that. There's a lot of money to be made on that. And if you want to know more information on this, just go to higginsmethod.com, fill out the form there. I've got some people waiting for you that'll help you get and make a lot of money in this particular adventure. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck.